Welcome to your custom-tailored deep dive. We're taking the sources you sent us, and today that means excerpts from Lou Gatti's book, The Marketing of You.
That's right.
And we're going to be extracting his core philosophy on personal development, on resilience, and, well, on success.
Our mission today is to really analyze Gatti's framework. And I have to say, it's remarkably abrasive.
Oh, for sure.
But it's also really effective for navigating life's, difficulties. We're going to focus on three key ideas. First, accepting that you are not special.
Ouch.
Second, mastering the art of failing well. And then finally, how to leverage success so you don't stagnate.
Okay, let's unpack this. And yeah, let's start with that rather tough pill to swallow right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, you are not special.
It's designed to be a shock to the system, I think. He states pretty bluntly that the world does not revolve around you. In fact, he says the world does not give a damn about you.
It's not mean, it's just indifferent, which is almost colder,
It is. And that sentiment, it's really designed to just shatter the ego, that sense of entitlement that a lot of us, carry around.
And he really doubles down on it. It's a huge reality check.
Mm-hmm.
You might feel like the smartest person in the room, but the odds are you're probably not.
Right.
It sort of challenges you directly. Like, if you think you're that good at singing or soccer, maybe you're just confusing passion with, like, world-class ability.
And the statistical truth is, it's brutal, but it's necessary. There will always be someone faster, smarter, wittier, whatever.
Always.
And if you spend all your energy waiting for the world to notice how special you are, you just get paralyzed. You're waiting for a pat on the back that's never coming.
Okay, but isn't there a risk there? If I accept I'm not special, doesn't that just kill my ambition? I mean, why even try to compete if I know someone is just innately better?
That's the key, though. That's the pivot. Gatti argues that believing you're special demands external validation.
Right, you need other people to confirm it.
Exactly. And when they don't, you get resentful. But if you accept you're not inherently special, you stop looking outward. The goal isn't to be better than them.
It's to be better than I was yesterday.
You got it. It shifts the focus from that uncontrollable external validation to internal optimization. You're free to just do the work. The pressure's off.
So chapter 1 is basically the ego check you have to pass before you can even start.
That's precisely right.
Okay, so just to kind of recap this first part.
Yeah.
The world doesn't really care about you, and that's a good thing.
Right. And there will always be someone with more natural talent.
So you have to accept that and just move on to becoming the best version of yourself.
That's the foundation for everything else.
Okay, that mindset sets us up for the action plan. Chapter 2, fail well. And he adds, and don't be a sore loser.
Mm-hmm. If chapter 1 is about internal humility, this is all about external effort. And failure, for Gatti, isn't just inevitable. It's the only real source of growth.
He frames it as a mathematical necessity.
Yeah.
Right? He kicks it off with that famous Wayne Gretzky quote.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because he doesn't just leave the quote hanging there. He gives you the stats to back it up.
He does. We're talking about the greatest goal scorer ever. In Gretzky's record-setting season, 81-82, he scored 92 goals.
An incredible number.
But to get those, he took another 277 shots that didn't go in. So his shooting percentage was only, 24.93%?
So he failed 3 out of 4 times in his best year ever.
Exactly. He failed way more often than he succeeded, and that is a phenomenal piece of context.
It really is. I mean, if the Jive is only succeeding a quarter of the time, the rest of us need to get way more comfortable with failing.
And it's not just sports. Look at Meryl Streep. 21 Oscar nominations, but only 3 wins. That's a 14% track record.
That doesn't even count all the roles she wasn't nominated for.
Right. Gatti's point is that successful people fail constantly. And if you get immediate total success, it's probably just luck. Or maybe your standards are too low.
So the whole philosophy is to embrace that discomfort.
Yeah.
He calls rejection the kernel of growth.
He does, and he brings in M. Scott Peck from The Road Less Traveled, the idea that once you accept that life is difficult, the difficulty itself no longer matters.
It's just the price of admission. You expect it.
It's powerful cognitive framing. You don't waste energy being shocked when things go wrong. You move on. But he knows it hurts. So he lays out 3 options for when you feel the failure.
Option 1 is just quit. Learn nothing.
Which he says is just choosing to be a loser, basically.
Right. Option 2, the right choice, is to feel the pain, process it, make a plan, and then get back out there.
And the trap is option 3? To wallow,
Uh-huh.
to let it eat at you. And if that black cloud starts to take over, he has some very specific, almost physical advice.
Yeah, he says to go help someone less fortunate. Volunteer at a soup kitchen or something.
It's about perspective. He's harsh on wallowing because it can become a habit. Now, he's clear, clinical depression is a separate issue.
Okay.
But for self-pity, the antidote is perspective. You break out of your own head by focusing on someone else's problems. It gives you the clarity to get back to option 2,
The plan.
the plan. And to make that plan, you need a process. That's where his 5 questions come in.
The things to ask yourself after a failure. Okay, so let's walk through this. Imagine someone listening just had a big project at work, completely bomb.
Okay, first question. What went wrong? Check the obvious stuff first. Was the budget off? Did the timeline slip? Get granular.
Second, what don't I know? This is about owning your knowledge gaps. Maybe you thought you understood the client, but clearly you didn't.
Third, am I missing an important skill or piece of knowledge? So if you didn't understand the client, how do you fix that? Do you need more training? Do you need to bring someone else in?
Number 4, has someone else already solved this problem? This is huge. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Stand on the shoulders of giants, as he says. Ask for help. Look at what successful projects did. Learn from their models.
And finally, 5, what will I do differently next time? This is all about forward momentum. It turns the failure from a dead end into a data point.
It's a system,
Yeah.
and it's all about making better decisions, which he calls the most important skill next to breathing. And to do that, you have to know what you can and can't control.
Right. The external versus internal factors. External is stuff you can't change. The economy, your height, whatever.
And internal is your feelings, your thoughts, your reactions, which you can control.
He uses that Azar Nafizi example, which is so powerful. Living in Iran under that oppressive regime, that's an extreme external factor.
A huge one. And instead of letting it crush her, she focused on what she could control. Her attitude, her actions, and she started a secret book club.
She was proactive, not reactive, which connects to that George Plunkett quote he uses. He's seen his opportunities and he took them.
Yes. Reactive people let the world make decisions for them. Proactive people find a way to make things happen, even with constraints.
And he throws in that Chumbawamba lyric, I get knocked down, but I get up again.
You can't keep me down. It's the perfect mental anchor for this whole idea. It's cheesy, but it works.
Before we move on, he has a really critical section for parents. Let your kid fail.
So important. He warns against helicoptering, and he calls it mental foot binding.
That's such an intense phrase. What exactly does he mean by that?
He's talking about shielding kids from any and all negative consequences. You know, you call the teacher about a B-, you solve all their arguments with friends.
You're running interference.
Constantly. And you're teaching them that the world must bend to their comfort. He calls it snowflake preciousness, and it creates helplessness and entitlement. If they don't learn to fail when the stakes are low, they'll completely break when the stakes are high.
So to wrap up chapter 2, successful people fail a lot. Like a lot.
Like Gretzky and Streep.
Uh-huh.
A lot. And you have to examine that failure with those 5 questions.
And life is hard, but once you accept that, it loses its power.
Right. Focus on what you can control, your internal attitude. Be proactive, not reactive.
And for parents, let your kids fail. It's a
Yes.
gift.
It absolutely is.
So we've learned how to fail. We know how to process it and use it. But what happens when we actually succeed? That brings us to chapter 3. Succeed well. And again, don't be a pompous showboat.
It seems counterintuitive, right? Why would success be a problem? But Gatti argues that unexamined success can be the bringer of its own demise.
How so?
Well, if you got lucky, maybe your product launch succeeded because of perfect market timing, not because of your genius strategy. You're likely to become a one-hit wonder.
Ah, I see. Success makes you complacent. It leads to that dreaded plateau he talks about.
Exactly. Failure hurts, so you're motivated to analyze it. Success feels good, so you just assume you deserved it and you stop asking hard questions.
So what's the first step to avoid that?
It's simple. Gratitude, thank the people who helped you. He says being nice is underrated. It's that mandatory humility check to stop you from becoming a jerk.
And then you have to apply that same rigorous analysis to your success that you did to your failure.
Yes. The framework is almost identical. You have to ask the 5 questions after a success, too.
Okay, so let's go back to our listener. Her first project bombed, she used the questions, and her second one was a huge success. What does she do now?
She dissects it. First, what went right? And everything is not an answer. She has to get granular. Was it the new pricing model? Was it one specific ad campaign?
Second, what do I really know? This is the luck versus skill question. Can she articulate why it worked? If not, it was probably luck.
Third, and this is key, am I missing an important skill or piece of knowledge? Even with a win, there are gaps. Maybe the product was great, but the supply chain almost collapsed. She succeeded despite a weakness.
And that's what she needs to fix for next time.
Right. Then fourth, has someone else already solved this problem? This time it's about maximizing the win. Could she have made 5 times as much profit if she'd used a different partner?
So it's about optimization, not just correction.
Precisely. And finally, number 5, what will I do differently next time? Because if you do the exact same thing again, you're already on that plateau. Success isn't the finish line. It's the starting line for the next challenge.
So it sounds like Gotti's whole argument is that the only thing separating long-term growth from stagnation is the quality of your post-game analysis.
Win or lose, that's the entire synthesis of his argument. You never stop questioning what you think you know.
So just a quick recap on succeeding well. Don't be a pompous showboat.
Please don't. And remember that your success might have just been luck.
You had to examine it with the same 5 questions you used for failure to figure out why you succeeded.
Because success isn't the end. It's the beginning of the next level, and you have to keep building to avoid that plateau.
That brings us to the end of our deep dive into Gotti's framework from the marketing view. We've seen that real growth comes from accepting your limits, learning from failure, and being just as critical about your success.
The whole philosophy is about active reflection. It doesn't matter if you're missing 75% of your shots like Gretzky or winning the Oscar like Streep. The growth happens in the analysis afterward. Critical thinking isn't just for failure, it's the foundation of all achievement.
So you've been given a blueprint for continuous improvement. If the goal really is to avoid that dreaded plateau, what's one specific thing you succeeded at recently? A project, a conversation, a personal goal. What is it?
And will you now dissect it using those 5 success questions? Really dig in to make sure that achievement wasn't just beginner's luck, but a replicable process for your own future growth. That's something worth thinking about.